Okay. All right, before we get started, let's go back over our mission, what we intend to accomplish. And can anyone tell me that? What is our one-part mission statement? Our one-part mission statement. What's our end goal, bottom line?
For yourself by no longer exchanging time for money.
Okay, great, great. That's exactly it. We want to get to the point where we're no longer exchanging our time for money. We don't have to go to work for money. We go to work to serve our purpose, and that's our end goal. Bottom line. We also talked about in our community. We last time we talked about we have $3 trillion of purchasing power in the Black community, but yet and still we only have 24 cents to every dollar of our Caucasian counterparts. So we want to change the dynamics because what year was it that they said we were going to have zero to negative net worth? From zero to negative, our network is going to be worth that. Anybody remember that?
2054.
2054. How many years is that from now? It's a couple of decades, right? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 31 years.
Okay. All right. 31 years to be exact. So we talked about how do we get from here to there? And we're just going to assume everybody's on ground zero. We know some people are well ahead of that statement that was made, and that's great. But we just want to take everybody to ground zero because what we want to eventually do is instead of us just being financially emancipated or free, we want to be able to be in a position once we leave this course to be able to instruct others and bring them up. Okay, Martin Luther King, the video, if you were able to check it out, it was only maybe a minute or two long, but it was very powerful. He was talking about reparations. It's something that it's just like when you let a prisoner go out of jail and he's been in there for, let's say, 30 years. You say, okay, you're free. We made a mistake. You're free, and they just go and drop you off somewhere. How do you expect for that prisoner really to be a productive citizen? He has absolutely nothing. He's starting with ground zero. That was us. That was our ancestors back in the day. And when Martin Luther King started talking about reparations, he was talking about, hey, y'all taking care of everybody else. Back in the 30s, other people were getting housing, and they went from the projects. The projects did not start with Black people. It actually started with Caucasians. The government built these project housing, brand new, for them. And they said, well, why are you guys paying this rent? Now we're going to give you mortgages so that you can go ahead and you can own some land. And then when you get to a certain point in that house, now you can sell that house and the equity in it, you can now purchase a better house in a better neighborhood. And that's how they started gaining land and houses. Everybody with me on that? But Martin Luther King's thing was, if you saw the video, he was like, how are we supposed to pull ourselves up from our bootstrap when we weren't given any boots? Basically, I'm saying that. That's me paraphrasing what he was saying. And I was like, wow, this is really good. So guess what we got to do? We got to go in and get the bag. We got to get the box now for ourselves. So the way we're going to do this is we're talking about the blueprint. We're going to talk about the budget, the us telling our money where to go versus our money telling us where to go. I think if it's used incorrectly, credit cards are really a modern day slavery. You're enslaved to that credit card for the next 50 years. Some people just figure, oh, we're just going to be in credit card debt for the rest of our life. That's just the way it is. The mindset's got to change. We got to transform that mindset. And we can do this together. So we're going to talk about this blueprint. So everybody break out this blueprint. And we're talking about this couple, and this is a hypothetical couple, but this is realistic right here. This couple is named, and you can, if you got your sheet, just over in the on the left side of the page, his name is Tom, and his age is 25, and her name is Tammy, and she's also 25. They have been graduated. They have graduated college and for a couple of years, and they're Starbucks assistant store managers because they have a degree. However, Tammy, she got full ride scholarship, so she has zero debt as far as student loan debt. Tom, he's got $30,000 of student loan debt. Everybody with me? All right. So what I want you to do on this budget sheet, where it says tuition repayment, and you see $200 over there under the estimated amount, I want you to put 30,000 on the right side in that open space. $30,000. Everybody got that? All right. So the next area I want you to do is the car. You see the car loans? You got the car payments, $350. He's got a Hyundai. She's got a Toyota Camry. Once again, on the right side, his debt on that vehicle, the Hyundai, is $16,000, and hers is also $16,000. They bought these when they graduated college because they owed it to themselves because they graduated college. So they have graduated, and it's been 2 or 3 years now. But their loan payoff is $16,000 and $16,000. I'm going to show you this plan where we're going to be able to pay both of these off in 2 years.
I'm
Watch
sorry.
this, okay?
Can you do me a favor? Because again, technology don't like me. Is there a way to pull up that screen so I can see the screen as somebody else is working it, or any way to put it so we can see the screen so I'll know that I'm clicking and putting things in the right spot?
Can you pull that up, Miss Lakeisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anyone? Okay. So she's got the screen up. Okay. Mr. Keith, you got their names on the left-hand side of the page, and put it about middle ways of that on the left side of the page in that open white space. Are you able to do that, or you can't do that? The other side, the left side.
What would you like me to do?
Just like we just mentioned about Tom, can you just put it right? Yeah, down in there somewhere, because we're going to go back up and we're going to employ them with two side gigs. So just put their name somewhere in the middle of that white, down a little bit further down. And this is in Excel. That's why I wanted pen and ink. Okay, so let me know when you're done with that, because I can barely see it. Okay, let me know when you're done, because I can barely see
Yes,
that.
sir. I'm done.
Okay, so on the right-hand side, underneath tuition, on the right-hand side in the open space, on the right side of the payment of $200, $30,000, that's what's owed at this time.
How much did you say?
30,000.
Right.
And once again, Tammy does not have student loan debt at all, but Tom does. All right, you got those in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now come up here in the student loan, what we owe on the student loan, I'm sorry, on the car loans, 16,000 for the Hyundai, 16,000 for the Camry. Those are good?
Mhm.
Okay, now watch this. So they're gonna work at their Starbucks job. We got the amount that they're supposed to make together. They're both making about $4,100 a month. Together, they're making $8,333. Everybody back on the income side. Now come back over to the side. We're gonna get two side gigs. Tom is gonna drive Lyft 3 days a week, 4 hours a day after he finishes Starbucks, and he's gonna make $25 an hour for 4 hours. So that's how much? That's $100 a night, right?
Mhm.
So that's $1,200 a month. And she's gonna work for Amazon delivery with her Camry on the side, 3 days a week again. She's gonna make $1,200. So let's go ahead and, instead of putting 1,200, because we're just gonna do a round number. Just put $1,000 each a month that they're gonna be making. So that brings our total up to $10,333.40. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, once again, we got a 2-year plan to get them out of consumer debt, their vehicles and their student loan, because they don't have credit card debt and they don't want any children. So we don't have to worry about that. We're going to take now the $1,000 for him, and we're going to add that to his car loan, $1,350. That's how much we're going to put. You can put that in that white space where it actually says the actual expenses. $1,350 is going to be his new amount that he's going to actually pay, because he's taking every one of those dimes that he's making from his side gig, because we live it intentionally to get this car paid off in a year. She's going to do the same thing, $1,350. All right, I'm gonna make you work tonight, Ms. Lakeisha. So they owe $16,000, right?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna start in December paying this amount. Tell me how soon will they be, Mr. Chad, tell me how soon will they have this car paid off if they get intentional and laser focus? What month and year will they have these car loans paid off, both of them, on the $16,000 that they're due right now?
So from December 2023.
Yes, starting in December 23 with this amount, $1,350. He's paying it, and she's paying hers based off of their side gig.
So like November 24.
Exactly. So put that on the right hand side of that 16,000. November 24, paid in full. Both of those. All right. You still with me, everybody? Mr. Said, how we doing?
Good. We're good. We're good.
Okay, you see how we working this? We're getting laser focused because we got a goal. We're not going to work these side gigs more than 2 years. And we're going to get to the house in a moment. Everybody with me? Miss Jamaica, you still with us?
I am.
Okay. This is not complicated, is it?
No, but I'm following.
Okay. Okay. We're getting laser focused. So we have taken this side gig and we're taking every penny to get focused to pay off this car loan. Now, once this car loan is paid off, these car loans are paid off. We're going to now take that $1,350, both of them, and guess what we're going to do? Now, under our student loan, we got 30. Did you put the 30,000? I can't see it, but 30,000 still in there, right?
Yes, sir.
So by this time, the student loan is now down to, I'm gonna round it down to $27,000, because we've been paying $200 on it a month. Now it's November 2024. A year later, cars are paid off. Guess what? The student loan is now down to $27,000. Remember, we only do this side gig for 2 years because this is a newly married couple. They need to be together, but they're only working 3 days a week. So they're getting Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. They together because they need to be together. They're newly married, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna work them to death. They still need to do the marriage thing, right? So the second year, what we're gonna target is, guess what? What we gonna target?
Student loans.
Exactly. So we're taking that $1,350 each, and we're going to now apply that to the student loan. So how much are we putting on the student loan from November 2024 to November, December 2024 to November 2025? How much money are we putting toward that student loan?
About, I know I'm not correct completely, but about 27,000.
29,000. Okay, go ahead and do the calculation on that, Ms. Akish. From December 2024 to November 2025, remember, we didn't really change the budget. All we did was add a side gig that's making $1,000 a month each. You see how we're snowballing this? So we paid off the cars, and we bring in that amount that we were paying on the vehicles, and we're bringing it down for the student loans. And by November 2025, guess what? Our consumer debt is done. And guess what? We done doing the side gigs. Everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
This is called living by design, not by default. They're 27 years old. They have no consumer debt just by picking up a side gig 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. Everybody with me? Now watch this. So we got that paid off. That's done. Car loan paid off in 2 years, in 1 year. Student loan paid off that second year. We're done with our side gig. Now we're going to play with the budget that we have at hand. We're not working any extra. All right. So now we want to get focused on, we want a house now. But we want to invest our money to be able to put a nice down payment on a house. Let me show you how we're going to get here from this budget, not based off our side gig anymore, because we're done with the side gig. All right. And we're just assuming that these two individuals didn't even get a pay raise, but they really did by paying the vehicles off, by paying the student loan off. Now watch this. Let's look at this budget again, because I'm gonna tweak this budget just a little bit. Look under emergency funds, right? You got $400. So they started their emergency fund. We're gonna say it's at $0. And for the next 2 years, once again, we're still dealing off that 2-year time period. We're gonna put $400 a month into our emergency fund. That gives us $9,600, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got $9,600 at the end of that 2-year period under our emergency fund. We also, if you keep going under the 401k, we've just been doing $400. Once again, that's together, $200 each, $400 for the IRA. We're not changing anything like that. Now watch this. Between the IRA and the 401k on our 10-year plan, that's $800 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Keys, you got your calculator out real quick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we're gonna throw this into a individual index fund. We're gonna do this for 10 years. How much money would that give us at the end of that 10 years at 10% compound growth?
With 0 start or 9,600 start?
Just the 401k
Mm-hmm.
and the Roth IRA. We already calculated the emergency seed fund. We already got that. That's 9,600 at the end of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want you to calculate $800
Right.
for 10 years at 10% compound growth.
All right.
$152,999 or something like that.
Yes. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Go ahead. I was gonna show them the calculator too.
Can you? Okay. You would have to take the sheet down, or can you do both? Leave it up.
No, I'll leave the
Just
sheet.
give it to them. Just give it to them, because I'm going to
Yeah.
make a point real quick, because I'm going to
Yes,
show
sir.
you how we're going to stop investing in those and we're gonna start adding on to living life a little bit more. How
Yes,
much
sir.
do you have? What's the
Uh,
seed that we have in there at age 35?
$152,999.28.
Okay, now watch how we plan. We gamifying this. We stop. We're done investing at 35 years old, and we're gonna take that $800. We're gonna add it to our income, our living expense. Now, Miss Lakeisha, put 152,000. Just round it off. 152,000 at 10%. So by the time we're 65 years old, how much money we gonna have? And I'm gonna show you how we gonna gamify this. We haven't put another penny in.
All right. So starting with
2.6.
150, yeah, 152,000 for
Yeah,
30,
just round it off.
yeah, for 30 more years with 10% interest. We will have $2,652,309.14.
So how long did we invest that money for, as
10
far
years.
as contributing? Everybody understand that? Everybody still with us?
Absolutely. I get it.
Yes, sir. Still
Now
here.
watch this. Watch this, Mr. Said. They're done at 35. So guess what? They going to start going out to dinner a little bit more at 35 because they don't have to invest anymore if they don't want to. Because they understand that compound interest, if you understand it, you earn it. If you don't, you pay it. Because if we would have stayed in that car loan, oh, we done paid the cars off, but we got to upgrade our cars. They're gonna stay. We'll never get to this level. And I'm gonna show you now how we're gonna get this house at age 35. And we don't even have to invest anymore. Once again, we haven't got one pay raise. Everybody with me so far? So watch this, Mr. Said. What's 10%? I'm gonna show you how. Look at this. What's 4% of $2.6 million? I'm gonna help you with it. It's a little bit over $100,000 a year that you're not going to work for, just by gamifying it just a little bit. And this little money that they're investing, I don't even start at this little level. This $400 a month for the 401k. We didn't even include the match, so that's even more money. And the Roth IRA. Did you know the Roth IRA at this point, that money is never taxed again? So half of that money is not even going to be taxed when you pull it out. So you can pull out the Roth IRA by itself, and guess what? You can live life. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going. Is this okay, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got the retirement taken care of. We done ran ahead on that one. Now go down to the gym membership. I just want to show you something on that. We're gonna scratch that out and that $56, and I want you to add that to date night, because at 25 years and all this time, this budget is just staying the same. So just line through the or just put 0 there and then add that $56 to date night. So you got $331 a month for those 2 years that we're working our dead snowball. All right, we got that. The only other thing I want to change is, I think this is too much money for gifts, because we're going to be consistent with the Christmas gifts. We're going to do it throughout the year instead of just one time. I like that better, because now we can lower the amount. So we're going to put $100 instead of the $250. Everybody there? Put $100 there. And then I want you to add that $150 now to the travel savings. Because once again, we're not depriving ourselves. So the travel savings go up to $300 a month. So we got $3,600 a month that we got set aside just to travel. We can do a little bit with that, right? For now, This is why we're snowballing. Are we there? Now, let's get to the good stuff. We paid off our student loan. We paid off our car notes. Now we're going to take Once again, we don't have the Lyft and the Amazon stuff anymore. We don't need that. But that $350, because we were doing $1,350. So we're gonna back that off because we don't have that extra $1,000 for each of those vehicles, right? And then brought it down to the student loan. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the $350 that was already in our budget from the cars, 300, that's 700, right? We're gonna come down to the Verizon bill and we're gonna cut that in half. We can slash that with the family plan. And so we're gonna do $100 instead of $200 for the Verizon. Or else we're gonna come down to some generic thing because now we're gonna work on our house. All right. So we got $700 we're gonna invest plus that $100. That's $800 plus that money we was doing for student loan repayment. That's $1,000 that we have just based off this budget. We're not even working a side gig anymore. Everybody with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, tell me. Okay, so we got $1,000 now. We're gonna save up. We're gonna invest, not save. That don't get you anything. We're gonna invest this money into the index fund, and we're gonna do it for 9 years, starting at the age of 27. We got $1,000 a month, based because we eliminated our car loans and we eliminated our student debt, as well as we dropped Verizon. That's all we did. We're not working Lyft anymore. We're gonna take $1,000, do this calculation real quick, Mr. Keish, from the age of 27 to 35, because we want to buy a nice house, but we want a nice down payment. Guess why, Zed? Because we don't want to pay.
Coach J.
Got to pay private mortgage insurance, and it doesn't count against, it doesn't help you with your principal or your interest. It's basically saying if you default until you get 20% into your loan, if you default, that you're paying private mortgage insurance if you default on your loan. You get no benefit out of it. It's to benefit the lender.
Right.
So we want to get past that. So we want to save up at least 20%. Now watch this, Mr. Keish. From the age of 27 to 35, 9 years, they're putting $1,000 into an index fund at 10% interest. How much money do we have to put down on a mortgage? And we're going to get this house at 25. Got 10 years to do it. We paid off our cars. We paid off our student loan. Now we're going for the house. Now we got a little wiggle room. All right. We still living life. We're still having vacations. We're still getting our manicures and pedicures and whatever else in this budget that that George created. All right. What do we have, Mr. Keish? How much do we have now to play with into paying off this paying 20% down at least at age 35? Tell me.
$162,953.72.
Oh man, see how this is working. We haven't even got a pay raise. We ain't working Lyft to do this. We just got laser focused because it was in our budget, but we were spending like there's a thing, and they said I saw this on the news, and it said, and this should be your homework assignment. It said Americans are spending like there's no tomorrow. Somebody write that down. Check the page. It came out of Wall Street Journal, 1 October 2023. It says Americans are spending like there is no tomorrow. That, you know what that means? That means they just buying everything they can without thinking about tomorrow. What if tomorrow comes? Mr. said, now this is how we building this wealth for our children. We're starting with us, though, because we got to put our mask on, and they don't plan on having any children. But guess what? They want to be a blessing. I'm going to show you in 25 years, their home will be paid off. We're 35. They're 35 years old right now. We've come up to this point, Mr. said. We stop investing at the age of 35. We don't have to invest anymore in our 401k plan or our Roth IRA. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that $800. We're gonna increase our lifestyle. I told y'all, I'm gonna show you how to spend. Now, watch this. We got $162,000 in our budget to go and buy a $500,000 house. We're gonna put down 100,000. Watch this. Look, this is beautiful. We're gonna put 100,000. You're 35 years old. That means we got a $400,000 mortgage. Right? Now look up here. This is the beautiful part. Remember that $1,000 is still, we're done investing that, but guess what we're going to do now? We're going to put 100,000 on our mortgage, on our loan, so we won't have to pay PMI. We're not paying somebody in case we default. And then we'll take 50,000 cash and go furnish the place. And we still got $12,000 that we're going to throw over into our emergency fund. We'll boost our emergency fund up to now $20,000. It's really $21,000. Everybody see that? Mr. Cleese, I wasn't too fast for you, was it?
No, I got you. I'm tracking.
Okay. We got a fully furnished house. We paying our mortgage. Now we taking that $1,000 and we're going to add it on to that money up here where it says Woodbridge rent. We're going to add that $1,000 in there, and that's going to be our mortgage, and we're going to pay this house off by the time we 50. We're going to do a 15-year mortgage. The interest is going to be lower on it because it's a 15-year mortgage. That's what I did with this one. And paid it off in 13 years old. Mrs. Said, what you think? We 50 years old. We got a paid for house, paid for vehicles, and we got that extra $3,200 a month plus the $800. Do we even need 2.6 million to remember? Our expenses have gone all the way down at the age of 50. So we kind of overinvested if we want $100,000 because we don't have a mortgage anymore at the age of 50. We don't have a car loan. We don't have student loans. We don't have any consumer debt. We don't really need $100,000. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. I got 2 minutes left.
It's good. I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Man, and they didn't even get a pay raise. And you know they're
Right.
gonna get a pay raise because we're gonna make Starbucks. Because did you guys know that Starbucks they'll pay for your degree? They got excellent health care. Somebody needs to be in college telling these people about just the benefits alone, and their pay is excellent. There's a Black lady by the name of Melanie Hobson. Look her up. She's a co-owner for the first and the largest Black-owned mutual fund with John Rogers. He started it in the nation, in the world. Sorry, the world. And she is also one of the 4 females that own the Denver Broncos. 53 years old. She's married to a billionaire, George Lucas, the Star Wars guy. But we're not even trying to deal with that. We're right here. We already got our future plan by 15 years from the time they're 65. These folks got enough money. They got a budget of, if you use a 4% rule of thumb, not the rule of thumb, their $100,000 that they're drawing off of this 2.6 million. Well, Cedric, you know what it'll do? The money increase. It does not decrease even though they're taking $100,000 off a year. Case in point, pull it up, Mr. Keys, pull it up. No, they don't believe me. Pull it up, Mr. Keys. The withdrawal calculator. Can you pull it up real quick? And while you're pulling it up, let me know when you get there. said, isn't this doable? This is only on $100,000 between the two of them. They both making after taxes $50,000. They bring it home each.
Very doable, and especially when you really don't have any debt. So really,
But
just
they had debt. But
that's
they
what's-
had debt.
yeah,
They got laser focused, didn't they?
right, right. I'm talking about being able to take it out at that point. I mean, you pretty much can have a great life because you, like, what are you going to spend the money on? You pretty much have been disciplined and have a set life and we're living by the budget. So that's pretty good.
That blueprint is no, it's, I mean, the month, and it'll fluctuate. We understand it'll fluctuate. 10%, like during the pandemic, I'm gonna tell you that was my greatest years of investing. I was getting 30, easily 35,000, 30 to 35% interest, compound interest on my money. I can't explain it. All I know is Einstein said it's the 8th greatest wonder of the world is what? Compound interest. Nobody can really explain it. This is Einstein, probably one of the most wisest. He is a brilliant man. And he said it's the 8th wonder of the world. But guess what? If you work in Amazon and working these side gigs, you know what most people have the inclination to do? What would they do, Sid? What they gonna do instead of getting laser focused? What they gonna do? They got this extra. There it is.
Go spin it. Go do stupid stuff.
But we gonna change that, right?
Right.
Mr. Said, did you realize that these people stopped investing when they did this for just 10 years?
10
They're
years,
35
right.
years old, and they're
Right.
not even putting into any type of investments anymore,
Right.
except for to pay down to get this money from their for their down payment on their house, which is
Right.
separate from this other money over here.
Right.
So that other $800 and all that, now you got over $4,000 a month. Just what you gonna do? You don't even know what to do with it.
Right.
But it takes you getting laser focused. And this is what we want to talk about during this course. I want you guys to take this sheet. We're gonna clean it. Mr. Keisha's gonna clean this up. And I want you to see this blueprint. We went from 2-year plan. Remember, you start off small. We had to get a little side gig, but it was only for 2 years. We don't want a side gig for 15 years. We're not doing that. That's too much. They'll be divorced. We want a side gig for 2 years to get laser focused, and then the next 10 years to get the house, and the next 15 years to pay off the house, and you have absolutely no debt, and you go buy any type of car you want. Okay, class, I'm over. I'm done. It's over. Questions, concerns? I really want you to think about this, and I want this to be in your face because I want you down to go back and see. We'll talk about this next time of how, and I don't want to see your budget. I don't need to see your budget. I want you to see your own budget. I want you to see where you got holes. You got money, running out of the bag because you just wasting money. I want you to go back to your blueprint and see what you can do to better your future self. All right. Back to you, Miss Lakeisha.
All right, sir. You just dropped it like it's hot, huh? Drop the mic. I appreciate it. Anybody have any questions? Don't be too quiet, y'all.
No, I'm just taking it all in. It's just surprising to see, like, once you get it on paper and stuff, and to see it, see it through.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think
So what?
my takeaway is it's essential to kind of get rid of even like the car loans, student loans. Try the best to get rid of that stuff as soon as possible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, I'm going to bed kicking myself for the stupid stuff for the past 5 years. So
Yeah, same.
I'm like,
Yep.
I feel like looking at my closet and just like say, you so and so fool.
But I understand what you're saying, Mrs. Cedric. But check it out. when you looked at this budget, we didn't even cut the budget we just got so laser focused because coach came and said, hey, your game can get better.
Right.
I can't go back to Pee Wee League and said I should have been, should have been learning how to tackle, low instead of everybody trying to tackle high, and now you're getting run over. I can't change any of that from yesteryears, but what I can do going forward,
right.
Oh, you best believe. I guarantee you, everybody, Bill Gates, none of these guys, they dropped out of college, by the way. Bill Gates, the richest guys, what's the other guy's name? The Meta guy, the Facebook guy. He dropped out of college. And these guys failed. But guess what? They got back up.
Right.
They didn't stop. So guess what said? That plan that I gave you, brother, that plan that I gave you, did you get it through my text?
I got it.
Okay. You just got to find the holes.
I just got to move some stuff around to do that number.
Okay, I know that's a big number. And we can always, once again, the blueprint, you can always adjust the blueprint.
Right.
And maybe we say, okay, well, maybe 35, maybe 55.
Right.
And that's okay. Don't put that pressure on yourself. I get it. But the thing is, we as Black people, we never talked about this kind of stuff. I've never was told this stuff from parents and grandparents. They didn't know. Right. They just didn't know.
Right.
And but I want us to be better. And once again, I'm over my time. I'm sorry. But I'm homework. Yes, sir.
I think it just comes down to I was sharing with my sister today. She's in the process of making a huge financial purchase that I've given her my opinion on. But nonetheless, at the end of it, I just told her in life, it comes down to we have to choose our hard.
So I like that.
Yeah. So we got to choose our hard.
I like that.
So, and that's where it comes down to for me with the plan you gave me. So yeah, it's a big sacrifice and have to adjust certain spending habits. So that's a hard. Or do I not reach my goal and have to do things a little bit longer? That's hard. So it's kind of like which hard do I want to choose? So, but yeah. So I appreciate you giving us the practicality of things and not just giving us theory. I've been a part of a lot of stuff, and you more so get a lot of theory in courses, but to actually have the pen to paper, as my grandmother would say, and more the practicality of the teaching and the step by step, that's what's life changing. So I definitely appreciate your patience with us all and your diligence to help us see our areas that we need to improve and make some radical lifestyle changes and get laser focus on our finances. So I appreciate it. Thanks.
Oh, my pleasure. Miss Jamaica, talk to me, because I know that the technology, don't let that frustrate. Miss Akisha's that's your girl. She's gonna help you with that. She's gonna help you with that, because I don't want you to. We're not moving ahead until everybody moves together. No one's left behind. So
yeah, I understood a lot today with me being able to see it. I was able to do what I need to do on here too. So I was able to learn how to use it as well as apply a lot of the stuff that you was putting into it also. So I saw exactly how to use it.
Okay, your homework assignment, everybody. By the time we'll just say retirement age is 65. I don't, really like to use that, but we're just gonna hypothetically use that. I want you to 25x your future lifestyle expense, and don't be shy. 25x it, 25 times it. And that's the number you're going to need to start investing to get to that 25x, because that's exactly what we did with this couple. They needed 25x, which would have been 2.5 million. You guys didn't catch it. But that's what I was doing with this plan, just spitballing it. Really, I was thinking about this after Mr. G3's class, and I did it based off his little budget he came up with, not what I came up with. And I said, okay, the only thing we're going to do is work for 2 years with a side gig, and we're now going to work ourselves to death. And that's how we got to this within a paid for house, everything paid for, in a matter of 25 years. I paid for a house, a $500,000 house paid for. And then you know what? Then we can now turn around and do a 1031 and take this house and we can move up in house and still without us working at a certain age, without us working, we can draw the income from this money, start drawing down on it to pay for that next house. But we already got $500,000 or whatever the equity is built up in it, pay for a house. So that's at least probably $500,000. Probably with the equity, that's probably about $800,000, depending on where you at. You paying $200,000 for $1 million home? Come on, Sid. All right. I'm done for real. My time is way over. All right, Mr. Keish, I'm done. Homework assignment. I want you guys to go back and look at that. Americans are spending like there's no tomorrow. That's under the Wall Street Journal, 1 October 2023. I want you to go back and look at it. There's a video on it, but you can just go back and read it if you want to. And it's true. And that's everybody. That's not just Black folk. All right, back to you, Mr. Keish.
Thank you, sir. I certainly appreciate all you're doing for the information. I think the wheels are definitely turning. I can see for those who are on the screen, just the wheels going. Yeah, y'all get ready. He's about to blow your whole mind, change your whole mindset. And that's the goal, to show you how attainable these things are. That seems so far out of reach, but finding the practical way and having the patience and the discipline to commit a short period of your life for the benefit of the rest of your life. So I'm excited. I'm encouraged. This is the type of fire that he starts. So I expect, for all of us to go in and work on our budgets in a way that we can get a clear goal in mind. I'm one of those people. I know me and my brother, we talk about, man, if I win the lottery, right? I do play sometimes, but if I never win the lottery, I still can have all of the things that I want to have. And that's where I want you all to be. It's like, if I never get a windfall, like, I know how to earn it. I know how to invest for it. I know how to plan for it and to set myself up that it's not by chance, it's deliberate. So we're taking those intentional steps. I appreciate your time always. If you guys have additional questions, we're here. Like, we don't have to rush off at 9, but I do want to respect your time. So those of you, you're taking care of your kids, you're working, you're doing all your things, like, you're free to go, certainly at this moment. But if anybody has questions, I did want to show you guys one more thing, and then I'm gonna let you guys get off, because I wanted you to see where I was putting the numbers. So there's several opportunities or several ways that you can do the calculators. I typically just use this one. I know Mr. George has another one he uses, but this is where I'm putting the information in. So when he says we're starting with, now I can't remember the scenarios, but whatever we were starting with, if we're starting with $1,000 here, we're putting in $800 a month. We're putting it for 10 years. We're expecting 10% interest. Down here, the variant. So we could put 0 for now or leave that one blank. Or sometimes we'll do 5 up or down, depending on the market, and then calculate. So this is where the numbers are coming from. It's not coming off the top of our heads. There's no magic thing that I'm doing. I'm literally putting it in the calculator that's already set. And so you can do this as well, looking towards how much you're able to save. And then there's other ones that you can use, like the savings goal calculator. So this is, once you figure out what your 25X is, say you need $1 million or you need $2 million, okay, to try to get us to that goal. And we have about 30 years to get, we're gonna start with 0. Then we have, let's say 30 years, we're gonna say still 10% interest, and then calculate, and this is going to tell you, so let's start with $100 just so we can get something. And that's going to tell you this is how much you need to save each month. So it's the reverse engineering of it. If I need $2 million in 30 years at that interest rate, I need to put a little over $1,000 into that investment account. Now, we look at, I think for most of the investments that we'll get to a little bit later, Coach Jay will show you, our interest rates are much better than 10%, but we do that to be very conservative so that, you know, as you go above that, you're just happy. You're more happy. But these are the tools that we're using. So when we talk about investment calculators, compound calculators, this is it. So for me, I'm on investor.gov. I know there's so many different platforms, but they all do the same thing. So as you're trying to figure out how much money am I going to need, you start with that savings goal and then figure out what your initial investment is going to be. It'll tell you how much you need to do. I use this calculator when I look at how much I want my kids to have by the age of 21 when I turn their accounts over to them. You know, backwards plan, I want them to have this much when they reach their retirement age. What do we need to do? All of these things to backwards plan to adjust my current budget. So as I'm paying off certain debts, then I'm moving that money into investment lines for other things. So I just wanted to show you guys the calculator tools, and you can play with this stuff all day. It will keep you inspired and motivated. Were you gonna say something else, sir?
I sure was. Mr. Keys put 145,000 at that top block. This is where I'm at, you guys. I'm just be straight up with y'all because I'm making my babies 10 figures. Put 0 because I'm done investing for them. I got 5 grandbabies. Put 10%. I like 20. Mine is 12%. Got to do 12% for me. 12% compound growth. And the variance, put 12% as well, and put 82 years. What number you got? I can't see it. Okay, 82 years. So my great grandbabies, they're gonna be recipients. Great grandbabies.
Oh wait, let me go to the other calculator. But this is the goal.
It won't let you go that far.
No. Let me go back to the other one.
Okay.
Going backwards.
Just real quick, you guys, because
145.
I am done with these grandbabies. Well, with the big account, not the 529s and all that. 145, that's what it is now. 0, I'm not doing anything else with this fund. Okay. 10%, 12% compound growth, 12% variance, and 82 years. So by the time Bree is what? Yeah. Actually, I think it's less than that. Okay. And did you hit the button? Okay. What does it say? 1 billion what?
1,574,874,174.11.
Okay, but I'm done with them. This is generational money. Their other monies are set aside. And I did this intentional for 4 years. I went on a no spending except for essentials. And at that same time, paid off the house. I'm done building generational wealth in this fund for them. Now they got their individual brokerage accounts where they can spend, before this, and they got their Roth IRAs and their 529s. Okay. I did this intentional because I am not going to fall in that 0 to negative. My legacy is to leave that I won't see it. They will. All they got to do is just sit back and wait. Just to say, you see that?
I see it.
Okay. All right. I'm done though. I'm done. All right. For real. I'm done. Thank you guys for your time tonight. I know we went over time because we kind of got started a little bit late into this, but we wanted to make sure everybody was caught up with how to navigate the classroom, the Google Classroom. Without that, you can't see the assignments, but this is going to live on the page. And you can go back and check it out and break it down. I always go back. I done watched all the stuff at least 10 times because I'm trying to improve as well on the delivery, because I want everybody to be able to get it on a second grade level. And that's not an insult, but that's just reality. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Coach. Good night, guys. Anybody have any last questions before we log out?
No questions, but I'll definitely use the investor.gov page that you showed to kind of do some simulations and see what works. And I'm excited to go over like the investment options. I think that's one part that I'm kind of looking forward to kind of see how I can move around different investments.
Absolutely.